Kaberia, we are back, man.
Yeah.
Abu first touch those keys a bit for some that anointing keys.
Anointed keys, yeah. B flat is my
Preferred
default place of position.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we're back. You're in Daystar, at least now.
I've met Pastor Jewish, who's now Pastor Jewish of Nairobi Chapel.
Yeah.
That time, she was a different name. Yeah, and I was just so inspired to meet the person who inspired me and feel human, that you can actually sound a bit like those guys we're looking up to. So it widened my music scope. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm an expert, but at least from where I was coming from, I was able to look at. No.
You are an expert. You are good at what it is that you do.
I'm good at what I do, but I'm not necessarily the best. If there's anything like that, but I thank you for that. So the thing with now my season at Daystar, which again ties into what I consider important, mm-hmm. is how it lined up with the purpose that God wanted and the direction and the direction of life that God had prepared for me. Yeah. Now let me speak like that Christian.
Yeah.
God had ordered my steps, because I can't explain to you where that provision came through money, how the fees came, and being there. I know a big chunk of it was taken care of because of the job that I was doing for Daystar as I was a student. But I had to beat a lot of where I am to Daystar University. And that time now, we were amongst the third generation of the pioneers, especially of the Earth River campus. I'm talking about the Earth River main campus, because Daystar had been there for a while, since the 80s as a college. But now when they expanded, we were amongst the pioneers. So the same struggles of trying to build something sort of gave me and the rest of the people we were with a landing point for understanding, how can I put it in a way that it doesn't sound...
Just put it the way it is.
People who are involved in pioneering things mm-hmm. are easily drawn towards building people more and passionate about seeing that thing. It's like seeing that thing come out. It's like drawing a picture.
Yeah.
So you see the inception and you're like, wow, let me color it a little bit, let me do this. So you feel like you own the place. Mm-hmm. And somehow when I look back and trace back my life, I was actually involved in one or two cases of being a part of pioneering. For instance, when I was in primary school, we were the first class 8 of Kenya to do a different system that shifted from doing 6 subjects into 7 subjects in the exam. Uh-huh. When I was in Form 4, as I was lamenting about the codes, we were the group that went into a different system of choosing your subjects. Mm-hmm. And here I am in a pioneering generation of seeing Daystar University grow. What that meant is that it was easy to be in touch with where the university was going and who they were developing. They're developing servant leaders mm-hmm. for Africa. Now, in '96 when I'm there, I've done a lot of things. I won't go into details. I've done a lot of things. Again, I'm in music. I've made sure that my feet...
Yeah. My feet. Let me ask you, at this time, have you recorded your own personal song?
No.
Okay.
Me, I'm still at...
piano.
Learning chords for integrity music. I mean, and blown away that I've met Jewish. I've not even thought about recording, but now when I was here now, because of the exposure, now I'm in a different setup. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of Nairobians, which is not how I grew up, and there are a lot of Christians, so now we can talk Christianese kind of thing. And there are 27 countries represented. I'm seeing an Angolan live for the first time. I'm seeing someone from Madagascar I never thought I would meet. I think there's even Comoros and a Korean and Americans, of course. A lot of Tanzanians, a lot of Ugandans. Mm-hmm. So I started getting interested in widening my scope. I started thinking, it's possible to go to Uganda. What does it take to go to Uganda? Getting on a Kamba bus at night and going to Uganda. Now I started thinking that it's possible, and such things began happening. So I'm involved in a lot of activities. And we are singing all the time. The good thing about Christian communities is that we sing all the time. I keep telling my son and daughter that that's the community that sings a lot anywhere in the world. For sure, you're guaranteed every week there's something. So now because of that, my music sensitivity, and also I'm maturing, I'm no longer a teenager, I'm getting into my adult life, I'm grasping things quickly. So I'm all of a sudden realizing, this thing can sound like this. I can move from one chord to another. And along the way, around 95, I meet somebody. This is another story. So I'm in Daystar and I'm going back to Nyeri for my holidays. When I'm there, a friend of mine, his name is Conrad. I actually don't even know how Conrad is. Conrad he used to play drums in Nairobi Chapel earlier those days. Nairobi Chapel that time was at Mamlaka, what people call Mamlaka. That was Nairobi Chapel for many of you who don't know. So he brings me music. So now by that time I've got tapes. My parents have given up on me recording things and coming with music. And that time I'm making sure I'm listening to every available integrity music that is coming. I would record, and I hope integrity will not, but it's just the way we lived. So I would record on 120
TDX
120 minutes tape. So one side was one album. One of the ones I had was The Lord Reigns, Bob Fitts. The Lord Reigns, let the earth rejoice. The other side, Graham Kendrick, Amazing Love. I would listen to it all the time because this was fascinating. Conrad knocks at my house, tells me, hey, how are you? Yeah, we had grown up in Nyeri. I'm in Nairobi now. I go to a church called Nairobi Chapel. Tell me about it. I'm in Daystar. What? Tell me about churches. Because now when I'm in Daystar, in Athi River, I'm not going to Nairobi for Sunday service because I don't know Nairobi. And we have a community there anyway.
Yeah.
He gives me a tape that Nairobi Chapel had recorded called Niwewe 2 in 1995. The songs were arranged, most of them written by Kiama Mugambi, who is now Rev at Mavuno Downtown.
Yes. And
two of the songs, or one if I'm not wrong, was recorded by a man called Andrew Wanjao. He will kill me for this.
AKA the senior pastor of Mavuno Church.
Pastor Murithi Wanjao, Pastor M, the senior pastor of Mavuno Church. They were all in the worship team. And he brings me a recording of the album Niwewe 2. That is live. I had it. I threw a tantrum. I said, no way. No way. I mean, I'm struggling getting your steadfast love, and I'm hearing these chords in a Kenyan album, singing
Kenyan song.
In Kenyan songs. That's the time I realized Baraka za Mungu can actually sound fused and funky, for lack of a better word. Because those days, let me use that. Those days to say, Baraka za Mungu kweli niza jabu Baraka za Mungu. That's how we used to play it.
Yeah.
But here comes this guy, I'm saying, Baraka za Mungu kweli niza jabu.
Nice.
I'm like, what's that?
Nice.
What? And and then they're medleying. They're medleying all the songs. They're doing Chaku Tumaini Sina. They play that and then it goes to Shout to the Lord all the earth. I'm like, what's this? And they look and it has an inlay card with lyrics. It has the songwriters. I'm like, what?
What is this?
Small world, I'm telling you. Immediately Conrad leaves. It didn't, I think after a month or 3 months, I meet Kiama. So my head, after Conrad left, my head is like, I need to meet who these guys are. Okay, I'm not even thinking about meeting who they are. I'm just thinking, how can there be Kenyans like this here? And who is this? And Kiama's name stuck in my head. First of all, it's even written so far with a Y.
Yes,
it's not K-I, because it's spelled K-I-A-M, but now it's K-Y. I'm like, wow. Niwewe 2, Niwewe 2, Bwana Niwewe 2. We never used to sing it like that. It's an old Kenyan song for those of you not Kenyans. We used to sing it, Niwewe 2, Bwana Niwewe 2. But now in Nairobi Chapel, it was Niwewe 2, Bwana Niwewe 2. That's a small detail that sounds very funny now, thinking, really? But for us, that time it was such a big deal. Mind-blowing, because we didn't have access to a lot of these tools and even think, how many people are even playing piano to figure out you can do that? You don't have a lot of exposure to hearing things, apart from what the government is giving you through Voice of Kenya on the radio. Do you know, Kiama had a friend who used to live around our neighborhood, and I didn't know, and he traveled to visit. So, I mean, I've left Daystar on holiday.
In Nyeri.
I'm talking about Nyeri. I mean, I've left for holiday. I've gone back to Nyeri for my holiday. And typical me, I have the key. No, man, I've lived in that compound, in this school. I've grown up as a kid in that school. Now I'm an adult in university. I might as well knock at the person who has the key for the piano and just spend time in the hall alone, just, you know, playing, just like here. And I was playing. Then I see my friend come in with this other person.
No
hello.
way.
Introduced, I just had this thing. Introduced, my name is Kiama. It didn't connect until the name, one Nairobi Chapo came. I was like, wait!
It can't be.
It can't be. You know how people are normally starstruck? I was like, what? Are you the Kiama with the Y?
Get a storyteller.
He sat down there, and you know, now, he just sat and played a song. All I remember, it was in the key of E. I don't know, come when you see this, you remember, anyway, I know how to meet him. He's the chairman of a Fleo council, he knows this story. But I think it was, there's a song they're preparing for Sunday set. And it was, every knee in heaven and earth shall bow down to Jesus the King. And something like that. It was a song that I really loved. It was like, God, in those few seconds, what have we just done there? All I know is that the song is in E, as I can see evidently. But, you know, so he showed me a few tricks. Man, I remained there. I told him, bye-bye, nice to meet you. I'm thinking, what? And I remained there just getting and working on that and so on. And God just started working that season. Do you know, within that season, after meeting Kiama, I started writing songs for Daystar.
What?
I just, on that very piano, in Nyeri Primary School, the same piano I was taught when I was a kid, and that lady had died, Mrs. Speaker died way back when I was in high school, then I would remain and get the key. I wrote and arranged songs right there.
Can you remember one of the first songs, or the first song you wrote?
Yeah, I wrote, there's a song I wrote for Africa, a love song that I wrote for Africa called Chosen One. You are the chosen one, you are the lovely one, you're the place we stand, you're the pretty land, as a chosen one, so give your praise to him, for everybody knows, you're the special being we boast. It was funk, you know, we grew up with funk, and, you know, we used to listen to funk, and you
said you wrote it for African?
For Africa, the continent.
What do you
mean?
Love
song.
Oh,
the love song to Africa.
Oh, nice.
You're the chosen one.
I get.
You're the place we stand. You're the pretty land. You're the special being we boast. The verse has words like, when I think of what God has given, each resource or something like that. I just started writing songs for the nation. So such songs, among the first ones that now I realize I can actually complete a song and write down. But it's after I met Kiama. I think just the anointing, just the influence, just flowed. Yeah, it just came. And wow. And then after that, I just realized God was slowly calling me to something greater, because now I influence a lot of things in Daystar.
So when you were writing this, explain to me, when you're writing these songs, what would happen? Then you take them to Daystar and be like, okay, where would you perform them? Have you recorded them? What would happen?